No DQ Galaxy, we are live to discuss Monday Night Raw for Monday, February 28th, 2022, as the road to WrestleMania continues. And this show had some not so interesting moments, and then there were quite a few very interesting moments. We will be talking about that. Shout out to everybody for tuning in, whether it's live or on demand. Either way, I appreciate your viewership and support. Let's go ahead and get right into this recap. We have a brand new intro for Monday Night Raw. It was fine. Did not blow me away or anything, but it was okay. Decent intro. We had Kevin Owens come into the ring wearing a cowboy hat. So yes, he is continuing to mock the state of Texas. And we had the Kevin Owens show. Owens introduced his best friend, Seth freaking Rollins. And they talked about how they got screwed on the path to WrestleMania. But if they win the triple threat tag team titles match next week, they will be on the road to WrestleMania for sure. Owens said that nobody will stop them. No Texas legends, guys like JBL and Shawn Michaels. And that was all. No other Texas legends were brought up by Kevin Owens. He then took his cowboy hat and smashed it. What a heel Kevin Owens is. We had Alpha Academy coming down to the ring for the segment, the KO show. Owens and Rollins were making fun of the way that Gable pronounces thank you. Owens thinks that he says it weird. And Owens and Rollins talked about how the tag team titles will be coming with them for WrestleMania. Gable brought up how they did not want Owens and Rollins being added to the match. Said that their chances of winning drastically go down from 50% to 33.33% chance. Now, if Otis and Chad Gable were true genetic freaks, the odds would still be in their favor, and the odds would spell disaster for Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. But they are not super genetic freaks. I mean, Gable is somewhat genetically gifted, and Otis is a beast. But are they at that next level? That I'm not so sure of. But anyways, this all set up a match. Tag team match. Holla, holla, holla. And let me tell you this right off the bat. If you like tag team matches, then you should go out of your way to watch this Monday Night Raw. And to everybody saying to do the shoosh, I say shoosh. You all stop it. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Anyways, we had the tag team match. And by the way, there was a shoosh off between Owens and Gable, which I thought was pretty entertaining. They were going back and forth, and then Owens hit a stunner on Gable, and that led to the match. We had Gable and Otis working over Rollins. Crowd was basically treating Rollins and Owens like they were the baby faces. I mean, we were in Columbus, Ohio, not Texas. They were, in fact, cheered quite a bit. Crowd was chanting, "Let's go Rollins." Otis missed the Vader bomb, and Owens was able to tag in. He did the suck it, hit the cannonball, but Alpha Academy regained control. And then after the break, they hit a Vader bomb, they hit a moonsault, but Rollins was able to prevent Owens from being pinned. And then Gable suplexed Owens, went for another moonsault, but missed. Rollins tagged back in. Owens hit the stunner to Gable, and then Rollins hit the curb stomp. 1-2-3 victory. Rollins and Owens picking up that momentum heading into next week's triple threat tag team match. We had a video package for Omos, and he had a matchup against T-Bar. T-Bar, I think, has a new look. Maybe he's had this look for a while. I have not been watching main event, so I could not tell you if it's new or not or how new it is. But anyways, T-Bar was a total jabroni in this match. I mean, 100% he was enhancement talent. He got up on the apron, got knocked off. Bell did not even ring. T-Bar was beat up a little bit, got in the corner. Referee checked on him, and T-Bar did agree to do the match. He moved out of the way from Omos, but then got caught with a clothesline, and then Omos quickly pinned him with his choke slam, and that was that. Poor T-Bar. They could be doing so much more with a guy, like, you know, maybe have him be Dominik Dijakovic again. Maybe get rid of the goofy look and let him just be himself. Like, I'd rather see him getting pushed than Omos, with all due respect to Omos. I just feel like Dominik Dijakovic, he was doing pretty well in NXT, but that's kind of how it's been for the NXT guys. They do well there, they get to the main roster, and then they do not so well. We had a 6-woman tag team match. We had Becky Lynch, Doudrop, and Nikki Ash up against Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley. Becky talked about wanting to put her differences aside with Doodoo so they could pick up the win, and Bianca just wanted a piece of Becky Lynch. In fact, Bianca wanted to start the match with Becky, but Becky, of course, the heel that she is, quickly tagged out. And we had a pretty solid match here. Bianca and Rhea Ripley suplexed Doudrop. They worked together. They cleared the ring. Liv Morgan did a big dive onto the 3 heels on the outside. And Bianca and Becky finally went at it. And Becky used the braid to gain the advantage and even tied up the braid in the rope. Rhea Ripley eventually got the hot tag and things started to break down. And that's when Bianca got her payback on Becky Lynch. Bianca took her braid and she whipped Becky repeatedly with it. You heard the sound effects. Describing it cannot do justice. They did a great job with the sound effects. And Bianca took care of Becky. Becky escaped to the outside and back in the ring. Nikki attempted to roll up Bianca, but Bianca kicked out, and then Bianca quickly finished off Nikki with the KOD, the kiss of death. So pretty good match here, and the whipping was a nice touch to set up the WrestleMania match. And by the way, that is going to be on night 1, along with Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, which I find very interesting that they're doing both women's title matches on the same night. I was not expecting that. And Becky had the welts all along her abdominal region. Yeah, it was something else. We had Robert Roode with Dolph Ziggler against Tommaso Ciampa. And, oh, man. Guys, we are in mourning tonight. No One Will Survive. A great theme song for Tommaso Ciampa is no more. Instead, some random generic music that anybody could have was his new music. Welcome to the main roster, kid. By the way, Tommaso Ciampa is like 36 and they're acting like he's in his 20s or something. I guess when you when you dye the beard, you become 10 years younger. The fountain of youth in WWE. So yeah, very disappointing, but cannot say I'm all that surprised that they changed up his music. Like, if it was good music, I'd be okay with it, but it was super generic. Like, I would not be able to say that's Ciampa's music. If I heard 5 different random songs, I would not be able to tell you which one was Ciampa's music, because it sounded like pretty much any generic entrance theme you've ever heard. Like, nothing distinguishable about it whatsoever. Anyways, we had this match, and this was to set up the tag team match coming up on NXT 2.0. Dolph Ziggler was providing a little bit of a distraction, but Ziggler ended up getting knocked off the apron with a knee, and then Ciampa rolled up Robert Roode, picked up the victory, and then afterwards, Ciampa was beat down by both Ziggler and Roode. Ziggler got on the mic, said Ciampa got lucky once, but he will not be getting lucky on NXT. We had another tag team match. We had Dana Brooke and Reggie versus Tamina and Tozawa. I still do not have any interest whatsoever in this storyline. Reggie picked up the win with his somersault thing that he does. And then afterwards, Dana Brooke, very excited, she kissed Reggie. And I guess Tamina had to try and one-up her because Tamina ended up kissing Tozawa. And whatever. I mean, it was mildly entertaining, but I'm so over the whole 24/7 storyline. Although, to be fair, they didn't even have R-Truth and the other guys run down to the ring this time. They just focused on the kisses. So, whatever. It was okay, I suppose. We had the Street Profits backstage cutting a promo, hyping up the WrestleMania pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever you want to call it. And they said that they are hoping to face the winners of the tag team title match at WrestleMania. And they just might. More on that here in a few minutes. We had the Mysterios versus the Hurt Business in another tag team match. Mysterios cut this promo, said that they are done with the BS from the Miz. Miz, of course, interrupted. Miz cut this really boring promo by Miz standards. I mean, Miz usually delivers on the mic, but it was like the same boring promo that we hear every single week, talking about his accomplishments, and Logan Paul is more man than anybody in the arena, and crowd was chanting, "You suck" at him, and Mysterios invited him into the ring, but instead the Miz brought out the Hurt Business. And we had our tag team match, which was pretty standard. Dominic sent Shelton Benjamin into the post, and then all of a sudden the Miz grabbed Dominic. Rey Mysterio chased Miz away, and then Shelton Benjamin took advantage of the situation and pinned Dominic with what else but a roll-up, because that's how you do it in WWE. And I'm not sure if Riddle's going to turn heel or Dominic. I mean, we already had some heel turns on this show, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. So, yeah, Hurt Business. They pick up a win over the Mysterios, whatever. I mean, I feel bad for the Hurt Business that they're enhancement talent, but that's what they've become. And now they're beating the Mysterios, but whatever. I'm not really sure what else to say on it. It was just pretty standard Monday Night Raw stuff. We had Randy Orton chatting with Riddle backstage, and like I said, they were in Columbus, Ohio, and Riddle talked about how he puts the high in Ohio. And we had this match, RK-Bro versus the Street Profits, which was going pretty well, but then something happened here. Orton apparently got hurt, I don't know the details on it yet, but we should have an update pretty soon. Orton got a hot tag, did his stuff, and then Ford got the upper hand on Orton. He went up to the top, hit the big frog splash, and it was a very significant frog splash. He got some serious airtime on it, and he did not make the cover right away. Orton appeared to be hurt. I looked back at the clip, and it looked like maybe his ribs got injured. But what happened here was Ford went for the cover finally, and it looked like Dawkins was trying to put Orton's foot on the rope, which I'm guessing was probably what was intended. Orton was going to get his foot on the rope. He wasn't doing it, so Dawkins put the foot on the rope, but Orton's foot just went limp, and the referee counted 3 anyways. The referee counted it like a shoot, and that was the end of the match. Very awkward ending, and pretty much everybody was checking on Orton. Like, the Street Profits really did not celebrate their win because I don't think they were scripted to win this, and I think everybody was just concerned about Orton. So yeah, it was a little scary, and hopefully Orton's okay, but man, that looked pretty brutal, and it looked like he definitely got hurt here. Very awkward ending to this, and man, that's gonna really suck if Orton's out of WrestleMania because of this. Like, that is gonna suck really bad, and I don't know what they're gonna do for next week if Orton's injured, but yeah, it was not good. So hopefully he'll be okay, and this wasn't too serious, but who knows at this point. We should have an update soon, though. And we had a Veer is coming promo because Veer has been coming, and he is still coming. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. He says, leaving San Antonio, I can't stay, but I'm sure to come back when the Hawks beat the Spurs in May. Guess that's a little reference to the Rock concert, but using the San Antonio Spurs instead of Sacramento. Nicely played there, Hamp. Very random, but thank you for that. Curtis Butler says Hamp in the wrong chat room. Up to this point, I thought Raw was just okay. Kind of a filler show. But then we got our United States Championship match. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. And this is where it really started to pick up. The last 30 minutes of Raw definitely got things heated up for WrestleMania. So we had the United States title match. The one thing I didn't like about this, though, they had Finn Balor come out, and then it took forever for us to get to the match. We had 2 commercial breaks before the match actually started. In between this, we had a Vince McMahon Austin Theory segment to hype up Vince's upcoming appearance on the Pat McAfee show. And apparently Vince is going to wrestle. That's the rumor right now. I don't know what to make of that. Is he actually going to wrestle? I find that hard to believe. Are they going to do like a handicap match or something? There's going to be some kind of gimmick. But yeah, apparently we're going to get some kind of WrestleMania angle with Vince McMahon and Pat McAfee. And basically Austin Theory brought up how Vince had this sit-down interview 20 years ago and stormed off. It didn't end well. And Austin Theory asked, what if Pat McAfee pisses Vince off and tries to jump Vince? Theory said he had Vince's back, but Vince said it's not that kind of show. And he walked off. And then Theory said, but it could be. Little teaser there. And that's Thursday on Pat McAfee's YouTube channel. Certainly going to be an interesting segment, to say the least. Could be a total car crash, but it'll be interesting. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate it. Says, I'm waiting for WWE to say Veer isn't coming, LOL. You know what? They got to have him debut. They've waited this long now. He's got to finally arrive the night after WrestleMania. I seriously think if he shows up the Raw after Mania with that hardcore crowd, he's going to get like a Steve Austin level pop. I really do. I think they're going to go crazy. There's going to be Veer signs everywhere. They have to debut Veer the night after WrestleMania. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, Damian Priest had Razor Ramon vibes, even did the NWO symbol and a modified version of the Razor's Edge and said, I'm the bad guy. Well, first of all, it's not the NWO symbol that he was doing. He was doing the Finn Balor symbol, although that is the Too Sweet, but, you know, the Balor Club, Bullet Club, whatever. But yeah, I'm guessing because he does the whole Razor Ramon shtick, he's thinking in his mind it's the NWO symbol, not the Finn Balor symbol. Anyways, let's talk about the match. Good match here. Balor got some early momentum, and it went back and forth for a bit. Balor went for the coup de grace, but Priest was able to move out of the way. Priest hit the South of Heaven, but Balor kicked out of that, and then Balor recovered from that, hit the coup de grace, and picked up the win, 1-2-3, to become the brand new United States champion. I was not expecting this, guys. I did not think we were going to see a title change. Quite frankly, I thought we were going to get the typical DQ countout finish, but we did not. We got a new champion, Finn Balor, 1-2-3, clean in the middle. And we got the Damian Priest heel turn after the match was over. Priest got on the mic and he went straight into heel mode. He said that the people carried Finn Balor to help him win the title. And Priest said that the people were not behind him in the same way the entire time he was champion. Even though he busted his ass, the people never supported him like that. And he vowed to win the championship back, and then he took a cheap shot at Balor. And he sent Balor to the outside of the ring, and then he gave Balor the Razor's Edge, referenced Scott Hall, Razor Ramon earlier, the Razor's Edge onto the announce table. And of course, the table did not break. Really good segment here. I thought this heel turn was very well done. And I'm agreeing with Gary Joe here. We're going to get to this last segment here. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but the only negative was that we almost had the same exact thing happen in this final segment of this show. Now, the only other note I have before we get to the last segment, Carmella and Zelina Vega have officially accepted the challenge from Sasha Banks and Naomi. So we are going to have a women's tag team title match at the WrestleMania Premium Live event. I think it's night one, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. They have been announcing night one matches, or WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday. I think it's WrestleMania Saturday, although maybe that's the Miz and Logan Paul against the Mysterios. I'm not even sure at this point. Anyways, Edge came down to the ring, did another Cody Rhodes tease. He said that the roads to WrestleMania are about to be clearer. And I think he said roads plural to definitely tease where he was going with that line. And I felt like I did hear some Cody chants from the crowd. But it was not Cody, but rather it was the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, to accept the challenge. And the crowd did pop big for AJ. Edge said that he wants the Bulldog, AJ Styles. He does not want that tag team bitch that worked with Omos for the better part of a year. Edge went to go shake AJ's hand, but then took a cheap shot. Edge with a heel turn, and as Gary brought up earlier, back-to-back heel turns, which was my only negative about these last two segments. Like, They really should have done one last week or this week and then save the other one for next week. But anyways, Edge attacked Styles. Styles fought back, went for the phenomenal forearm, but he missed. And then Edge hit Styles with a low blow. And you guys know, if you've been watching AJ Styles over the years, you know that AJ Styles, he does not wear a cup. He does not believe in wearing cups. So Edge knew. He studied his AJ Styles tapes. He watched that feud with Shinsuke Nakamura, and he knew if he went for a low blow, it would work very much in his favor. So low blow city, Edge takes out Styles, and then Edge acts like he's done, but then he goes for the chairs, and he's going to potentially hit Styles with the concerto. He hesitates, though. But after a few moments of hesitation, Edge snaps. He hits Styles with the concerto, not once, but twice. And at this point, Edge has his morning after sex hair. I mean, it's all poofy all over the place. And he is just in complete, like, he can't even believe his own actions, because Edge, he had to go into that dark place here to set up WrestleMania. So I liked it. But again, I wish they hadn't done the back-to-back heel turns. They were both very similar to each other. Both were well done, but yeah, that is my only complaint about all this. Otherwise, the last 30 minutes of Raw was really entertaining, and you built up some nice heat now for WrestleMania. Priest, I'm guessing, facing Balor in a rematch, and of course, Edge versus AJ Styles set up for WrestleMania. Good stuff here. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. Says, so far, no triple threats or fatal four-ways at WrestleMania. Well, give it time, my friend. Especially if Randy Orton is out, they could possibly set up some kind of three-way or four-way tag team match. I mean, they might have had that planned anyways for the Raw tag team titles, just to get all of the teams on the show. Like, you got to have the Street Profits on there. And would not shock me if they do some kind of 3 or 4-way tag team title match. Dwayne Atkinson with a $2 super chat again. Thank you, Dwayne. Says, 2 years in a row, Edge turns heel before Mania. Well, was it a heel turn? I know some people a year ago thought like it was more of Edge being the tweener in the match rather than a full-blown heel, since Reigns was already the heel. And you could kind of sympathize with Edge too. This was definitely a heel turn. This was cut and dry, clear as day, that it was a heel turn. The game is on 100 with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, back-to-back heel turns for Edge and Priest. I knew when Edge attacked AJ, he was going for the chairs. Priest's turn was cool. In a Barney voice, I like it. I like them both, for sure. Edge did a great job, and the Priest heel turn is really overdue, and I think they should have done that one a couple weeks ago. They definitely, I think, waited a bit too long for it, especially if Edge was turning as well. But, you know, with WWE, maybe this was all last-minute decision-making. They felt like they need to build up some strong heels, so whatever, they're going to do 2 heel turns in one night. But all in all, Raw was pretty solid. The beginning of the show was kind of lackluster, but then it definitely picked up towards the end. So I'd probably give it a B-. I would not recommend the first hour and a half of the show. Maybe a somewhat recommend. Definitely the last 30 minutes I would recommend. So I'll say a somewhat recommend for Raw. Definitely check out the last 2 segments. The rest of the show, you might be able to skip and not miss too much. And again, hopefully Randy Orton is okay, but we should know some more information soon. And that's it for Raw. Thank you guys for tuning into this recap. And coming up next, we will be doing our predictions for AEW Revolution Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, before NXT 2.0. right here on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel. You can check it out. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend. Spread the word. Anything you can do would be very much appreciated. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up on YouTube. Give it a like. YouTube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. Take care, guys. Enjoy your week. Stay safe. And remember, say yes to NoDQ.com.